Julius Caesar was the son of a distinguished patron family. His uncle was a famous Roman reform leader and general who had acquired many political enemies in his lifetime. Caesar was ambitious to succeed in a political career. He decided to enhance his opportunities for success by traveling to the island of Rhodes, where he intended to improve his public speaking skills by studying with a famous Greek speech teacher. Pirates and other gangs of outlaws were a feared menace throughout the region in this time. Caesar was kidnapped on the trip by a large gang of pirates, who often captured wealthy and important people and held them for ransom.
Well, what do we have here? This young Roman smells of money. Seamen, every hand in the place. He smells of the scents and perfumes of the Roman baths.
I am a citizen of Rome. I am protected by the majesty and power of the most powerful republic on earth. I command you release me at once and transport me to the nearest city.
Would you listen to him? I knew I was right. I can smell treasure in a man. I can tell by your expensive toga and cloak that you are a favored son of Rome. Your family or the Roman government will pay well for your return. In the meantime, you may stay with us and enjoy the small comforts of the island. They're a little more primitive than what you're used to, but you will live, if your people pay. Juba, can you take the note to the Roman authorities?
How much shall we ask for his prize, Captain?
We will seek a modest reward, man, for rescuing this noble son of Rome. He may someday be a powerful figure, even a man of destiny in that city bursting with wealth and greed. Juba?
Yes, Captain!
Request 20 talents for our heroic efforts in returning unharmed this pampered Roman.
Yes, Captain!
Those 20 talents will fill our treasure chest with 1,000 pounds of silver.
This is outrageous! 20 talents is entirely too little to ask for a man of my prominence. My uncle Marcus was a consul in general, my family is partitioned by birth, and we have been Roman nobility since the founding of the nation. I myself am descendant from Venus, the special goddess of Rome. 20 talents are not enough. You are asking a demeaning, insulting ransom for a man of my birth and breeding. Nothing less than 50 talents is acceptable. The gods themselves are testifying to my importance. You should use silver to make the camp more pleasant for visitors like myself.
This is one arrogant son of Rome. Juba?
Yes, Captain!
50 talents it is. We must certainly get a worthy price for this spoiled patrician.
Yes, Captain!
The message was conveyed to the Roman authorities in the closest city. It was not an unusual event. Many important citizens of Rome had been kidnapped by pirates before. Kidnapping for ransom was a very lucrative criminal business. While the ransom was being raised by his family and the Roman authorities, Julius Caesar was allowed a good deal of freedom on the pirate island. He spent his time with the pirates and seemed to almost be enjoying his adventure. The pirates spent much of their time practicing their fighting skills.
Decimus, you're never going to make it as a warrior if you don't protect your flank. Here, give me your sword. Watch Felix. Attack me. Come at me with your sword. Slash to the right, feint to the left, and attack the body. What's wrong?
The captain will cut off me head if I wound or kill you badly enough for you to die. You're worth lots of silver on the hoof.
You have nothing to worry about. You're not better than Decimus. Watch as I show you the Roman sword drill. Slash, feint, attack. Whirl to your left. Protect your flank. Watch for an opening. Strike for the legs. Thrust the sword upward. Move. Parry the enemy's sword. Now let's practice.
What's the matter, Felix? Can't we just whip that young, spoiled noble?
He's good, but he hasn't been cut enough. Why don't you give it a try yourself, Milo?
You both need to practice. Unsheath your swords. Come at me two at a time. It's good practice for you. A noble Roman is a match for any two outlaws. You too, Decimus. A Roman expects to be outnumbered and victorious.
We should capture more prisoners like young Caesar. Most of our captives cry and rant or get sullen and depressed. They're so boring, I'm glad to be rid of them. Rome can have them back, and good riddance. It's a relief to slice off their heads and get rid of the bodies that nobody wants.
Milo says you have races. Who's your best runner? I intend to beat him. Or are you all afraid to run against this citizen of Rome?
No one here has ever beaten me. We go to the tree at the edge of the beach. The loser sharpens my weapons and cooks dinner.
I hope that you're a good cook. The food here the last few days was fit for a pig.
On your mark, get set, go.
Caesar won that race and spent the days of his captivity engaging in races, wrestling matches, lifting contests, sword fighting practices, and bragging, which the pirates did not take seriously.
You know, Marcus, you should remain a pirate. You're an even worse cook than you are a runner. It's a pity, of course. I will miss all of you, but I'll be back. It is a terrible pity.
What is the pity, young Caesar?
I'm going to have to crucify you, of course. Piracy is punishable by death. The correct method of execution is crucifixion. It's a shame. I'm going to regret having to crucify you.
You have more nerve than any captive I've ever had. How do you propose to crucify me and my men? Are you going to do it yourself?
He probably intends to talk us to iron. Well, Julius, do you intend to hang each of us from the cross?
Probably intends to talk us to death. I, for one, do not expect to be hanging from some Roman cross. It takes more than this young boy to capture me.
I will regret it, I admit that. You have been good company and certainly not boring, but you don't know how to fight. You are unskilled with swords, even on a ship where you should have an advantage. You don't run well, and you will be easily overwhelmed by Roman warriors. Still, I will regret having to kill you. Nevertheless, justice must be served. I'd be lacking judgment to be too nice.
The Roman Navy has never laid a hand on me or my men. No Roman authority has control out here. Do you expect to raise your own army and defeat us?
They will probably be all rich, young, spoiled Roman boys. I hope he brings us some more captives to ransom.
Just be warned, you can run away now if you please, but I will find you and defeat you, much as I will regret it. It is never proper to be too kind or too merciful. I would not want a reputation for being too soft.
We're all quaking with young fear, young Julius.
He's either soft in the head or the biggest braggart I've ever heard.
Now, Decimus, let me show you how to wrestle like a Roman. It will keep us occupied. My ransom should arrive soon.
Julius Caesar was held captive by pirates for 42 days until his ransom arrived and he was freed. Caesar sailed to the closest Roman city where he recruited a small contingent of tough men, soldiers, laborers, slaves, and adventurers. He offered them the ransom if they would capture the pirates. They succeeded in capturing most of the pirates, who were then shipped off to prison. Caesar ordered them to be crucified, the usual penalty for their crime.